Next week marks the 5-year anniversary of Texas neurosurgeon Christopher Dunch being sentenced to life in prison. Dubbed Dr. Death, the case gained national attention, revealing how easy it is for dangerous doctors to transfer from one hospital to another. A 3-month KXAN investigation found Texas is keeping some doctors' histories secret. Doctors who could be treating you.
KXAN investigator Matt Grant discovered some physicians are coming to Texas to leave their past behind.
I have to have help for meals, transportation.
More than 30 patients.
This will not bring my mother back, but it is some sense of justice.
Left injured or dead before Christopher Dunch lost his medical license.
Why didn't he stop? Because he has no conscience.
And then his freedom. A decade after Dunch's path of destruction began.
And it isn't just a state problem, it's a national problem.
Dr. Robert Henderson is still fighting to fix the system that allowed Dunch to keep practicing.
He maimed people here. He killed Shelley Brennan by drilling through her vertebral artery.
He also did that to another patient at Dallas Medical.
Shouldn't that have precluded him from employment at other hospitals?
Henderson's takedown of Dr. Death was portrayed by Alec Baldwin in the Peacock miniseries. Alongside our investigative producer, we met Henderson near Dallas, where he still performs spinal surgeries.
Do you think what we found suggests that there could be another Dr. Death all over again?
Well, I think the odds of it are pretty darn high.
Our 3-month investigation found around 50 doctors with disciplinary actions in other states, medical licenses suspended, surrendered, or revoked, all able to or still practicing in Texas, some convicted of crimes, some repeat offenders. We know this only because we pulled thousands of physician disciplinary records from state medical boards across the country, cross-referencing each name with the Texas Medical Board, one at a time. Doctors can be licensed in multiple states. When they mess up in one place, we found some are coming to Texas to start over.
Well, I'm surprised you found so many so fast.
Among the doctors currently practicing in Texas, a Colorado neurosurgeon disciplined for performing surgery on the wrong spinal disc, a Wisconsin orthopedic surgeon whose license was suspended indefinitely for operating on a patient while intoxicated, and a Florida doctor reprimanded for prescribing, quote, excessive quantities of oxycodone leading to a patient's death. All of them still showing a clean record in Texas. A search of the board's public profiles for the doctors we discovered shows no record of any disciplinary actions from other states, even though we found it ourselves, information that's required to be reported by law.
But now I have little to no confidence in what's stated on that website.
It's a concern for Dr. Henderson, who says the Texas Medical Board promises you transparency but fails to deliver.
Right now, the public isn't getting the information that they need in helping to determine who do they want to be treated by.
Does what we found suggest there is systemic failure?
By definition, yes.
We're always trying to find a way to do our jobs better, to get information faster, and to be able to take actions quicker to protect the public.
Stephen Carlton is executive director of the Texas Medical Board. While he says he can't comment on the specific cases we found, he says it's up to the board to determine if a physician is safe to practice.
So the board doesn't have just kind of a blanket, if you've ever had an action, you can't get a license. If you've ever had a conviction, you can't get a license. Everything is looked at on a case-by-case basis.
Carlton says the board is aware of a majority of the cases we identified and is now investigating the ones it missed after we brought it to their attention.
Missing one is unacceptable. Missing a handful is unacceptable. But it is something that we're looking into right now.
It's unclear after speaking with Carlton why the public profiles for the physicians we identified have not been updated. He wouldn't say if they'll face disciplinary actions for trying to keep their pasts secret.
They are supposed to disclose that information and put it into the profile. And some of them do, but obviously some of them don't. Any type of previous disciplinary action, convictions, arrests is something that they would have to disclose upon initial application with us.
So how come we're catching that, but you aren't?
Well, again, a lot of the things that are on the list are things that the board was already aware of.
If you guys are aware of it, then you're aware that they didn't disclose it, and it's difficult to understand with some of these how they could even have been issued a license.
And again, we can't get any of the specific cases, but
right.
like I said before, there are a couple of cases on the list where we're looking into further.
If you're aware of most of these cases, shouldn't the public be aware of them as well?
Well, and again, that's one of the things that, as far for starting this year, that we want to start doing.
Starting this year, the TMB will post any new out-of-state disciplinary action it finds out about with a note that it was not disclosed by the physician. It will not be retroactive. But by law, it should already be public. The Texas Occupations Code says physician profiles must contain a description of any disciplinary action against a physician by a medical licensing board of another state. The board says it's now trying to better meet that profile information requirement.
I'm really glad to have that information.
Back with Dr. Henderson, he plans to take our findings to members of Congress, calling for greater transparency and better protection for patients.
I've always fought for patients. I mean, that's why I went into medicine, was to help people. And you can't help them if you don't fight for them.
Nobody from the Texas Medical Board would give us a clear and direct answer when asked multiple times why it's not fully following the law when it comes to publishing out-of-state disciplinary actions. It suggests there is no absolute oversight and leaves us with the question, does the law in this system have any teeth? Coming up tomorrow night after the Olympics, we'll tell you why information patients need to know exists on a national level, but you'll never get to see it. In Austin, Matt Grant, KXAN Investigates.
Thank you, Matt. Here in Texas, physicians are required by law to report felony convictions within 30 days.
Criminal charges and medical disciplinary actions are only required to be self-reported when they apply for or renew their license every 2 years. Christopher Dunch declined multiple requests for an interview. He will be eligible for parole in 2045 when he's 74. To see more of our findings in interactive elements, head over to the investigative section of KXAN.com.